making this video for people whom are new to the game to help them understand the abilities a little bit more, understand how to use the abilities more, and to understand how to read the abilities a little bit more. This video is for new players and not necessarily for people that have been playing. Well, we're all kind of new to the game except for, the streamers and stuff that has played before. So this video is designed for people that have been confused about the abilities in the game, have been a little bit frustrated about the abilities in the game, and wanted to understand it a little bit easier. So the things that I will be talking about in the video are general skills. So knowing that every character has general skills, every character will have these general skills, and that you can apply a name to them, a general name that you may think is best for them, applying it to the right skill. Another thing I'm going to be talking about are the names of the skills. Understanding that each character has a different name for their skill, but also each kind of command has a different name as well. So this right here, this bar, has a different name for each character, and their abilities as well have different names, or their skills as the game announces it. I'm going to use okay, I just said it once, so that's good. I'm trying not to say too much for this explanation video, but I'm going to use Montefi. I call him montefiore to make it a little bit more easier for me to say, as an example for what I'm talking about. And then I'm going to show you, the last thing I'm going to do is show you what I mean about, understanding the abilities, and just give you like a example of what I'm doing. Okay. So each character, like I said, has general abilities. Every character has 6 unique general abilities: a basic attack, a resonance skill, a forte circuit ability, a resonance liberation ability or skill, an intro and outro skill. These are the 6 unique abilities that everyone has. If I click Echo, she has that. If I click Rover, he has these 6 unique abilities. And if I click, forgot her name, I think it's Vinray or something, she has these 6 unique abilities, right? And when you click these abilities, they name these abilities impromptu, or the basic attack is named dependent on the character. So Montefiore's or Mortefi's ability is named impromptu show. And it's very simple. Like, this is a template for the basic attack because the basic attacks are usually very similar to each other in gacha games, or in this type of game, this RPG game. So you know that it is a basic attack, and when you hold it, it charges, and then it deals fusion damage for him in order to deal more damage when you hold it. Okay. I'm going to pause really quickly because I was just about to go on an streak, so we're going to try to avoid saying that. And I don't like to create these videos again and again trying to be perfect when it's just a demonstration video. But I think it was very distracting and frustrating when I saw myself saying and So I'm trying not to do it for this video, this explanation video. So we know that his ability is called impromptu show. And why is it important to name the abilities? Because it could be an ultimate or even a basic attack that my character has that impacts other characters' basic attack, but it's called impromptu show. This is just an example. So it kind of allows you to be more specific when you name even the basic attack. So it's good to note that, like I said already, this resonance bar, I call this the resonance bar, but for Montefiore or Montefi, it is named annoyance stacks. It is different for other characters, so it's good to note that it is different for him and it's different compared to other people. So I know hers by heart, her resonance bar by heart. She gains Melanie stacks. And when she gains Melanie stacks, it increases the amount of hits she can do on her heavy attack. So that's a good example of knowing the difference between them. Okay, moving forward. So we know that there's a different name of the basic attacks. We know that each character has a resonance skill and their own unique resonance bar. And in his case, it's called annoyance stacks. Now we have resonance skills. His resonance skill is called passionate variation. And it's more or less like his basic ability. And that's what I like to call it. I like to give it that general name. And if you want to give it a general name besides resonance skill, if you don't remember resonance skill, say his basic ability. Now, for me, I will probably, because I play this game often, I'm going to remember resonance skill. It's really up to you. Now, Forte Circuit is kind of like saying his passive active or passive passive ability. And that's important when, with every character, if you want to give it a general name, say passive active or passive passive ability. And what this does in particular is it changes his resonance skill. So it will change his resonance skill to do more damage, and that's essentially what it does. So you can think about Forte Circuit as like a passive ability. And this will help you to understand this a little bit more when you're reading it and say like it seems a little bit wordy to you. So his resonance skill is called Fury Fugue, and his resonance skill is replaced with a Fury Fudge. This has gotten like a little bit of attention because people are like, well, 1 minute it's called Fury Fugue, and then the next minute it's called Fury Fudge. It's actually, the name of the skill is Fury Fugue, and then it is replaced with something, and that something is a Fury Fudge. It's a fudge of fury, right? So it kind of makes a little bit of sense, but I think it was a mistake. And hopefully people can see past this small mistake and say, well, okay, this is what it does. I know it's a passive ability, and it usually affects the resonance bar, so this is what it does. The next ability is the ultimate in a general sense, or the resonance liberation. And what his ultimate does is apply Burning Rhapsody to all of the characters on the team, and their basic attacks, or even his basic attacks, will fire 1 Marcato or 2 Marcatos when there is a heavy attack. People have been complaining that this is very wordy. It's not. I mean, this the Forte circuit is pretty wordy, but if you really look at it and you read it, it's not wordy at all. I don't understand where people are saying that this is wordy. It's just that they are pulling from, you know, the precise definitions of what they named something. Anyway, then you have the intro to outro skill, which is very self explanatory. When the character goes into the fight, they will use a certain ability, and when the character leaves, they will use a certain ability. Whether it's a buff or damage, it's essentially self explanatory. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about with Montefiore. So I'm going to go fight something. I actually like to fight this fire thing because it helps simply because they are immune and I do have really bad allergies and they don't seem like they want to go away anytime soon. I'm proud that I haven't said as much as I did in the last video, so hopefully people will find this video much more better to watch and less antagonizing to watch. I have to pause because I actually didn't know that that was a habit of mine until I recorded myself and started watching the videos. I know what I'm talking about. So I say as a filler word and then yeah. Okay, so right now I have 100 annoyance stacks and my passionate variation ability turned into Fury Fudge. And when I use it, it consumes stacks. And notice that when I auto attack, I gain annoyance stacks. So now my other bar, my Forte circuit, is filled up, or my passive, when I get 100 annoyance stacks. So this bar is a little bit different. If you're a new player, it can be confusing, like, well, what the heck is this? But you'll notice that when it fills up, you can then switch to another character and use his intro skill, but also use your character's outro skill. So Montefiore's outro skill is that damage buff you see hovering around my character. Okay, so now that you kind of see the abilities in action, it's a little bit more easier to understand because you kind of see what's going on here. When I get these full stacks, again, like I said, I get Fury Fudge. Now, his ultimate ability is Burning Rhapsody, and what it does is it applies this buff to your attacks and to your teammates' attacks that fires out 1 and 2 Marcato stacks. So again, hopefully this broad kind of template helps people to understand the abilities more, and if you're new, you're not super confused about what is going on in the game. This isn't very wordy. I don't know what people are talking about this kind of being super wordy and back and forth. It seems very simple to me. It has always seemed very simple. Sure, they've had a couple of mistakes lost in translation, went from, I believe, Chinese to French and French to English. So it is fine. I don't never saw this as an issue. I think that there was just an update, so it could have been shortened, but again, it's not that serious. It has not been that serious, but hopefully this helps you. When you go in order, you kind of follow what the game is kind of telling you in order. It's much easier to break it down. But if they had just fixed this, then that's good. People probably would find it much easier to understand the abilities. Thank you, and if you like this video with about 95% less ums, then give it a thumbs up and enjoy.